Welcome back, friendly neighbors and Spidey fanatics. Today we're going to be looking at 10 Marvel characters the Spider-Man has teamed up with. Spider-Man has had many adventures with all kinds of superheroes and villains. Some were random and some were straight up awesome. Today we're going to be giving you our personal favorites. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Daredevil and Spider-Man come from very different parts of New York. Spider-Man fights the top-tier villains in flashy colors and insane powers, while Daredevil fights street-level killers and assassins. So when the two team up, you know it's serious. Both in the comics and in the cartoons, these two have incredible respect for each other as heroes and also as people. They may have disagreements with each other on morals and values when it comes to being a superhero, but when it's time to get the job done, it will be done in awesome fashion. Fun fact! Did you know that Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, is usually known as a Spider-Man enemy, but really, he's a Daredevil villain? Yeah, both of them hate the big boss of crime. Wolverine and Spider-Man have a love-hate relationship between them. These two come from completely different worlds and sometimes corrupt each other's morals. They can't help but poke at each other's flaws and push each other's buttons. When Wolverine needs a partner to go on a mission with him, he usually chooses Spider-Man based on how loyal he is to his teammates. These two have fought and always try to one-up each other on missions, but when this dynamic duo comes after you, oh, you're done. Spider-Man is teamed up with the Sorcerer Supreme in the comics and TV media and once in the MCU. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man seem like the most unlikely of a team, but when they come together, they fight like a well-oiled machine. Spider-Man has even worn Doctor Strange's cape once and gained his sorcerer powers to try and defeat Dormammu. Spider-Man and Venom have teamed up more than once to defeat a common enemy. More often than not, that common enemy is Carnage, aka Cletus Cassidy. These two hate each other and they both know it. But when times become desperate, you don't have a choice. Also, when Flash Thompson took over the Venom symbiote as Agent Venom, he would help Spider-Man with whatever he needed, so that counts as well. In the MCU movie Spider-Man Far From Home, we see the unusual team-up of Mysterio and Spider-Man. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So when Spider-Man agrees to help Mysterio fight the elements, it's revealed that Mysterio used hologram technology to make himself look like a big-time superhero while trying to upstage Spider-Man. This type of storyline was used in the comics and cartoons with different adaptations. While it was cool to see Spider-Man team up with a quote-unquote potential hero, most of us comic nerds already saw the betrayal coming from a mile away. This is probably one of the most requested team-ups for the future MCU ever since both Spider-Man and Deadpool debuted in their respective movies. Most fans have seen the comic team-up of these two and how much chemistry they have when they come together. Deadpool constantly seeks Spider-Man's approval because he believes Spider-Man can make him a better person. However, he always finds a way to mess it up or make Spider-Man think twice about teaming up with him. Regardless, I think they would be an amazing team on the big screen. In the video game Spider-Man Web of Shadows, Luke Cage was one of the central figures in the game. Not only did he help Spider-Man come up with new combos to take down bad guys, but he also showed Spider-Man the full capabilities of his spider sense. In return, Spider-Man helped Luke Cage take down two rival gangs in New York and had them make peace with each other. Luke Cage always stood by Spider-Man in his time of need. Maybe this is a team-up we'll see on the big screen one day. Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, has always been Spider-Man's guilty pleasure. They have worked together countless times on different sides of the law depending on what story you're looking at. Most of the time it's Black Cat trying to turn over a new leaf, trying to get Peter to think she's a changed woman. However, she usually returns to her old ways of thieving and stealing off the rich while working for villains like Kingpin or Doc Ock. This specific team-up means more to Peter just based on their pure sexual attraction to each other and him wanting to be with Felicia but not as a criminal. so it's pretty safe to say that if Black Cat wasn't a bad guy, she would be Spider-Man's main squeeze. Earth 616 Spider-Man has worked with literally every single version of himself from the Web of Life, aka the Spider-Verse. Everyone from Spider-Ham, Spider-Man 2099, Assassin Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Noir, and so on. Each representation of Spider-Man has always been a great team-up for Peter to be a part of, learning about his counterparts' past and even learning new skills from watching them. While he has faced some of them in combat, he always came out on top and even helped them back to the way of, with great power comes great responsibility. How can we not mention Iron Man on this list? MCU Spider-Man's mentor and father figure. While most of us know the history of the MCU with Tony and Peter, did you know that in the comics it wasn't so simple? Tony and Spider-Man did not interact as much even though they joined the Avengers together. They became close when they both discovered that they both love science and began their father-son relationship. During the Civil War storyline, Peter remained on Tony's side and Tony rewarded him with an iron spider suit, except this one was red and gold. However, after Tony was losing grip on the war and accidentally killed one of his own fellow superhero brethren, Spider-Man switched sides to Captain America, and ultimately they had a huge brawl which almost ended up with Peter dying if the Punisher hadn't found him. So safe to say that the MCU version of the storyline worked out a lot better for Peter Parker. And there you have it, everyone. 10 Marvel team-ups Spider-Man has taken part in. Let us know in the comments if we missed any of your favorites that you want to see. Maybe we'll include them in a Volume 2 follow-up. Hit the like button, share this video with all your friends, and make sure that you subscribe right here to the Spider-Man fan channel for the best Spider-Man videos for Spider-Man fans every week. Thanks, everybody.